All right, y'all. We got some more shit to talk about. We got some anime coming up this season. We got some good shit out, man. If you haven't seen the majority of the stuff that's coming out lately, and you don't know anything about what it is I'm doing either, whatever it is, I'm working on trying to make my own shit. The anime season this summer is looking pretty good. I got some recommended picks that I want to share with y'all in terms of the stuff that I've been watching and the stuff that I think maybe you would like as well too. And then it's just subjective, really. It depends on what kind of shit that you are really into. So without further ado, man, let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about, all right, if you look at my list here, right, Fire Force season 3 is out, which is crazy because I really didn't even. It was hard to even get into the first two seasons just based off of certain things just didn't feel joint. Like some of it just felt a little disjointed in terms of the season. But I'll get to that. So Fire Force, Windbreaker, Licorice Recoil season 2. Don't sleep on Licorice Recoil. It is fire, especially season 1. You got more One Piece coming out. Solo Leveling was last season, so we not even get started on that. With how great that one is. And then another one that I think is really, really good right now as well too. Did I mention Windbreaker? Apothecary Diaries. Apothecary Diaries is also a really good one. Look, I love good anime where you got all this action and drama in it like anybody else. But at the same time, right? Sometimes you need a break from all of the hectic shit that's going on in some of these shows, right? Like every fucking episode can't be goddamn Attack on Titan and people getting their heads bit off and chewed up and spat out onto fucking balls on the ground, right? Sometimes you need some shit that you can go and like go into one of these anime worlds and like take a fucking break from all of the busy bustle and hustle of like everyday life. So that's where you get your to me your fun anime. Like Apothecary Diaries, Licorice Recoil. Even though Windbreaker does have fighting in it and stuff like that, like it's not one of those anime where it's like you're on the edge of your seat every single time you watch it or whatever. Because it's delinquent beat 'em up type shit. So, and I absolutely fell in love with Windbreaker season 1, and now we've got season 2. But I really don't like waiting on these episodes. And anybody that's in the comment section, if you've been waiting on goddamn episodes too, like, man, it's the worst thing that you could ever do from my standpoint in terms of like what companies do in putting content out. I don't want to wait 8 weeks for these little shorts of Licorice Recoil. Just put them all out. I don't want to wait 8 weeks to get every single episode of Fire Force season 3. Um, I don't understand it. I guess it's a business from a business model standpoint. It probably makes sense, but it's such a pain in the ass to the consumer, to be honest with you. So the first show I think we should chat about is Windbreaker season 2 because that's the one that I've like kind of been in the most. So Windbreaker season 2 kind of follows up at the end of season 1, where the main character, what is this nigga's name again? I forget his name. He always whining and pouting and shit and blushing about nothing. Windbreaker. All right. Sakura. So, Sakura is the type of guy that, like, I guess something must have happened to him tragic in his backstory or whatever it is that makes him so shy and blushing and stuff because he got half his hair is white and half his hair is black and he got two different color eyes. I guess something must have happened to him that made him like that. I haven't really gotten into the spoilers of it or whatever it is, but I can say for certain season 1 was awesome, and then going into season 2, right, you get a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end of season 1. Going into season 2, they go to some like it's is it like a it looks almost like a dock or something like that, but it's like inside of a warehouse, where they fight these guys with these like white and blue robes. Well, white and blue hoodies. But in my opinion, I don't really feel as if I don't feel as if they pose as much as a threat as the first gang in season one. Like the first gang in season one really had me hooked because the head guy over there, he was a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like this dude he was on one. He was kind of crazy and he was the strongest person, and you had this back and forth between him and like um the leader of the high school, which Furine. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. And they call it's Furine High School and there's Bofurine. I don't get what the Bofurine part is, but maybe I'm missing something. Anyway, they get into that fight. That's an epic first season, and then you move into season two, and these guys they kind of seem like wimps to me in comparison to this crazy motherfucker right here. This dude right here. What is his fucking name? Windbreaker main antagonist season one. What's this motherfucker's name? Shisha Torin, led by Choji. I need to see his face though. No, take me. I want to see his fucking. If I got the right name. Okay, got Sakura. Where's this nigga to be whooping on everybody? Yeah, Choji. Okay, so Choji, this little son bitch, he's crazy, man. He got that look in his eyes, like he just. And I think the thing that kind of drew me to his character more than anything is if anybody out there has ever seen Rurouni Kenshin, why are these names escaping me? Sojiro, the Tenkin. He kind of reminds me of him in terms of his character design and kind of like how he acts as well too. Um, I, I I honestly thought that it was good writing in season one. Season two, you move on to that, and then after that, you move into like a different story arc now with what's the name of this one dude? It's like a dude, but he wears like makeup and lipstick and all that other kind of stuff. And he has a crush on Umemiya, but I don't know his name. I keep forgetting everybody's fucking names in these shows. Anyway, so you've got that, but now we're like in the red light district, and that's kind of cool. But it really hasn't amped up yet to give me the same feeling that I had in season one. I think that the struggle with season two is like we're a couple episodes in and we don't really have a big bad that's established in terms of like somebody that is a little bit more off their rocker than this crazy fucker right here. And then what's so funny is you got he's the one. So Choji is the one that's absolutely batshit crazy, and then you got this bastard here that is like second in command, but he's the tough son of a bitch too. So I I felt like it was written really really well. In season two, so far we don't really have that. It's more of like it's starting to move more into like a slice of life kind of feel almost. Where like yeah, you have fights or whatever it is, but we don't have this like this dude that we really need to get to from a narrative perspective every single week where we really want our main character to like just whoop his ass. And that for me made Windbreaker season one. Uh, I loved season one. And let me know in the comment section if you love season one too. Season one was fucking phenomenal. It was a breath of fresh air. You got shows like Tokyo Revengers season one, which was really, really good. And then there was a season two, and then I think something happened crazy where it ended up getting moved over to Disney or some shit like that for season three. But the street punk anime, with this kind of stuff here, it's alive and well. It's just that, you know, We need that big bad for season 2 right now, and I think we're only like 8 episodes in. Let me check and see here. Episode 21, but you know the shit don't tell you the real fucking. So 5. We're about 9 episodes in. So yeah, I'm not there yet. I started watching this one. I didn't finish it. Then we've got this one here. And so far, I'm kind of lost, to be honest with you. Like I said, we had this guy. I mean, it was a cliffhanger. These guys were bitches. Whatever this gang was. In the white and blue hoodies, straight bitches. They got whooped on real bad by the first years. But feels like season 2 is more about the character development of the main character than it is anything else. Then we have one of my all-time favorites that moved into one of my all-time favorites recently, Licorice Recoil. Now, if you are not a huge fan, like, so for me, when people would ask me, like, if anybody were to ask me, I don't think anyone's ever asked me, but if anybody were to ever ask me, like, what is your favorite anime of all time? Probably Ghost in the Shell. I love the Major. And when you look at Licorice Recoil, now you got another badass woman with a fucking gun, whooping ass and taking names. And for some reason, and I feel like too, you know, when Ghost in the Shell first came out, this was way, way, way back in the day on Toonami, right? Toonami's not even around anymore. Cartoon Network is pretty much dead at this point. But they dug their own grave. Toonami would come on late at night, and Ghost in the Shell was like one of those like super, super late at night type things that came on because of, I don't get why. It to me, it wasn't really even that risque or that bad, but honestly, it was more one of those things where it's like, you know, you got a couple naked androids in there, and then they're like, oh my God, it can't be on TV during the day. It has to be on at night. So you throw it on at night or whatever it is at like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. And the vibe of the show and how cool it was, the colors, even now, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, it is a great show. Like I said, sometimes you don't always need everything to be on 10. Sometimes you want to just go into a different world and experience these characters and like watch them go on these adventures and stuff like that. And everything doesn't have to be so fucking heavy all the time. Don't get me wrong, Attack on Titan, one of the goats, but it's very fucking heavy. And when you need a break from some of that stuff, you know, you got like Ghost in the Shell, which has story, has arc, and has all these things, but it's not always as super heavy. You know, you have lighthearted episodes where like characters get lost, but they still go on this like trail to try to find somebody. It's, you know, different shit like that. Ghost in the Shell in the Major, who probably is like maybe my favorite anime character of all time. Then you get Licorice Recoil, which is, you know, more the new school kind of thing, whatever it is. And I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. It's fun. Season 1 was phenomenal. I couldn't believe, like, when I first saw Licorice Recoil, and then it got all the way to the end of season 1, and I'm like, there has to be a season 2. It's been like 3 fucking years that we've been waiting on goddamn season 2. But it's finally here, and it's crazy because it's really only slice of life shit. Which, don't get me wrong, I think some of the appeal of Licorice Recoil was the fact that, you know, you've got this society of girls in Tokyo that work for this big fucking agency, and they stop crimes, and they, you know, they do this and they do that. And then you got the main character, Chisato, who literally shoots people with bullets that don't actually hurt people. I mean, it's a weird concept, but sometimes a weird concept and something that's different, like having some shit like that, makes for something really, really cool. Look at Solo Leveling. This is not a shot at Mother's Basement whatsoever, because I love watching Mother's Basement videos. Mother's Basement, Jeff Thu, he put out a whole fucking video about why power scaling anime is bad. I love Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is one of my top animes ever. And when I say top anime, I mean, it literally gets like a a golden crown, and I can't rank them. And there is no, I can't ever be like, oh, this is my top three, this is my top five. I can't say that because the stuff that I've watched is hard to put it to me based off of the art form and me being an animator and me drawing for years and years and years. It's hard for me to look at any of this stuff and be like, this is number one, this is number two. This, if I had to say anything, if it was like absolutely like you can't pick anything else, if there was an absolute number one, it would be Hunter x Hunter. But to me, that's unfair to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. To me, that's unfair to Solo Leveling, which is a fucking phenomenon. To me, that's unfair to Attack on Titan and all of these great, and especially, and I didn't even mention literally probably like, and you probably can't even dispute this, probably like the GOAT of all anime, probably the GOAT of all media, One Piece. And I'm this coming from the person that was bitching about how long it was until I started watching it. And I can't believe I wasted that much time not watching it because it is worth every episode. Um, but you can't really put a cap on that. And he made it. Jeff Thube made an entire video, Mother's Basement, made an entire video about how power scaling anime is this and that and whatever it is. And the reality is that we need a mix of everything, right? I thought that when I watched this video, but we really do. We need a mix of everything. Everything can't be fucking Hunter x Hunter with the Chimera Ant arc. It just can't. Everything can't be, and it's all taste preferences. It's not faulting him. You know, I get a lot of my anime suggestions of stuff that I should watch based off of looking at his videos and other people, whatever. But I just disagree with him on that particular point. Don't make him wrong. Don't make me, necessarily right or whatever it is. But I do think there's a place for power scaling anime, just like I think that there's a place for reality TV. And then you've got dramas, right? And then you've got sci-fi, and then you've got romance, then you've got telenovelas. You got all of these different genres, right? There's nothing wrong with power scaling anime as long as it's within the guidelines of what power scaling anime should be. Like if you look at One Punch Man, Solo Level, like everything doesn't need this deep philosophical thread in order for you to enjoy the media that it is, right? Like I would never compare One Punch Man, which is also a GOAT, gets a golden crown. I would never compare One Punch Man to Hunter x Hunter. It don't fit. It doesn't matter if they're both anime. It just doesn't fit. You can't compare a narrative masterpiece to a power scaling anime like One Punch Man, which is really more about like the depths of understanding oneself, in my opinion. Neither could you compare Solo Leveling because even though Solo Leveling doesn't have that depth that One Punch Man has, it's like watching a fucking John Woo film back in the day or fucking Jet Li. Like sometimes you just want to, or even goddamn John Wick. Sometimes you want to just sit down and watch a character whoop some ass, and that's what Solo Leveling is. That's all it is. And man, it had me on the edge of my seat every single minute of every single episode. This was not this is not supposed to be a video talking about Solo Leveling, but I digress. Not important. Licorice Recoil, once again, like I said, love girls with guns. Love Ghost in the Shell, love Licorice Recoil. Season 2 was good because it was more like slice of life stuff, and it, like season 1, it had heavier elements in it, even though it was still fun. And then you knock off a lot of that edge in season 2 with the slice of life stuff and getting to see the characters act goofy and silly or whatever it is. Most of the episodes are really only 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever it is. I think the last episode was like 5 minutes. But if you're looking for something a little bit lighter, you can take a load off with Licorice Recoil. Fire Force, I'm going back to rewatch season 1 and season 2 because season 3, I really don't even remember season 1 and season 2 all that much. I remember certain key elements of certain things, right? Like, um, the main character fighting Princess Hibana and shit like that. But I don't remember like the actual story arc. I know the evangelist and Haumea and all these different things. Arthur with his stupid ass talking about he's a royal knight and shit. But the rest of it is like kind of a blur. So I'm going back and rewatching that. Outside of that, man, I think this is a really good season for anime. Like I said, Apothecary Diaries. Once again, if you're looking for something to kind of take a load off, Apothecary Diaries will hit the spot. Everything don't have to be everybody, dying and getting killed. It don't have to always be that. That's the reason why I like, for instance, a show that I started that I didn't finish yet, Taxi. You know, like it's just different shit like that. So if you're into that kind of anime where you can kind of take like a load off and kind of watch it and have fun or whatever it is, cool. Before we get out of here, a sleeper that is old that I didn't watch when it came out. That's actually pretty good. Copcraft. Copcraft, from the soundtrack all the way to like the story arc or whatever it is, and it only got 12 episodes. It was fun. It really was. It was fun. Was it perfect? No. But was it fun? You bet your ass. So that's just my take on the state of anime right now for this particular season. If you guys got any suggestions for me in terms of anime, whatever it is, drop them in the comment section below. Because I'm always open to new stuff. But I want to watch shit that like you. I want to watch shit that's good. I want to have fun. I want to have a good time watching it, whatever it is. There's a time and a place for heavy anime, like Hell's Paradise. Gold Crown for me. Love this fucking anime. Great. All time great. But I don't want to always come into an episode watching somebody getting fucked up, right? And having all this heavy shit happening. Sometimes you want to watch some street punks beat the shit out of people, and then they go and sit down and everybody eats and motherfucker just getting embarrassed for nothing. Sometimes you want to watch Licorice Recoil and watch people in a fucking cafe playing games on each other and trying to invent like new desserts and shit. Just stupid shit or whatever. But got to get back on Apothecary Diaries. It's looking good so far. And I can't wait until next season, the fall season, because I'm pretty sure in the fall, Demon Slayer is coming back. And you already know that's going to be a good fucking time.